Alright, so I wanted to talk about how this isn't a quick fix for the self. It's an undermining of the self, the notion of a separate entity. I was doing a driving lesson today, and, you know, the seeing of oneness didn't make this body-mind immune from the fight or flight response, or being nervous or anxious. All that stuff can still happen. But if there was such a thing as liberation, it would be the secondary involvement. See, Charlie Hazer did a really good job of pointing this out. You know, there's no cure for the body-mind's tendencies, in a sense. But what can be seen is that there's no one in the body-mind that's separate. There isn't a separate self in the body-mind. What we are is the whole thing, the whole package, in a sense. So, things like I think I've mentioned about self-improvement, that they can still go on that relative level, if you wanted to have a level, which there aren't. So it's just a matter of seeing what's real and what isn't. This is what we're trying to address here. To see what the absolute is, what we are in essence. It's not about any necessary implications about the functioning of the body-mind. All it is about seeing the constant that we are. Which is, in essence, you could say it's the most important thing, because it's the only thing. There isn't anything else but that. But then in the relative sense, anything can still happen as that essence. So it's that happening. So it's the one essence driving a car, and it's the one essence feeling anxious, and it's the one essence trying to relax, and it's all, there isn't anything but that. So there's nothing to get away from, and there's no necessary rules or implications about anything. There's no way to know, and even that is unknown. So it's always orienting back to this simple presence of awareness that is real, and that sorry, that's the essence of what we are. And obviously there's no way to do anything with that, because there isn't really anything separate to come up and get at the controls, because there are no controls, and there is no entity to do any controlling. So it's a seeing right now that there's beingness, there's just existence happening, and it's just sort of seeing into that or feeling into that, which is actually the same thing. So the idea that there's a self that can feel into the being is just a notion arising also. So this is the absolute. This is oneness. This is home. But no one is home. There's not a self that's at home. There is just home. And it's this. I mean, it's not esoteric. It's very simple. It's simple being aliveness. The being of aliveness. And it's not spiritual, and it's not fancy, and it's not ownable, obviously, because there isn't actually an owner. It's not that I can't own it, it's that there isn't really this separate I who can grasp into anything, money or liberation. It's the same. I want money, I want enlightenment. Who's the I that wants, right? It's really just about clarifying what I am, what this I, the notion of self, of I, really is. What is that? And if it's looked into, it'll be seen that it is actually what's happening, and also what's beyond what's happening. You could say it's what's happening, and also the absolute in which that's happening, and those are not two. Even to say those imply that there are two, right? These two things are not two. No, it's really just one thing happening. But what we really have to do is take a plunge, in essence, into the ocean, because we've been living on waves. We've been living in the waves of circumstances, events, people, likes and dislikes, me and them, or me and you. And so this is, in a way, it's like taking a plunge into the unknown ocean of what we are. So, we see the circumstances of life all around us. We see and feel and experience, which are just ripples of energy on the ocean, which is what you are. But most people don't realize that they are this ocean. They've taken themselves to be a wave, right? Or, to use a good analogy, Charlie told me, it's like pretending that you're a pool ball with a bunch of other pool balls coming at you, and they're all hitting each other, excuse me, and knocking each other around. And you don't notice that what you really are is the space in which the table and the balls and everything happen. So you've taken in a way the whole, which is what we are, and condensed it into this point called me as a separate sort of vulnerable entity, and then wonder why we suffer. So it's just a matter of seeing this as it happens. So you see into this. You can see that this is just a notion that's happening. And because that can be seen, it's obvious that what you are is the seeing, is the ocean, the oneness, seeing all of this as itself. So that's why there's nowhere to go with any of this. There's no actual entity that could go anywhere. This is serious business, isn't it? That people watch. I mean, as a seeker, as I was watching this, or a similar video, it was serious, right? It's all very serious. And the way I'm speaking about it sounds serious because it is, from the perspective of that seeker, it's the most serious thing there is. So that's why a lot of the time we really keep it serious in a way, but it's not. From what we are, it's not. From what we've taken ourselves to be, yeah, it's god awful. But then from what we really are, it's God full of awe, full of awe, wow. It's oneness, just full of awe at itself. And there's just nothing other that can do anything to anything. It's, there's nothing vulnerable, there's nothing separate anywhere. I mean, where is it? Where is this fabled separation? If you look into that, I mean, you'll just find the one thing, which is no thing. So it's just a matter of seeing into this, and it's more of an intuitive thing. So just following that intuition down, in essence, following it in, even though you're already that. So the whole process can be blown away right now. But if there needs to be a process, then just look and see who needs a process. You can't process what you are. You can't get to what you are. You can't even be what you are. So, game over. There's no you in that sense, that's why. It's not as though you can't do it because you're unworthy. There's no such thing as a self to be unworthy. So the whole thing, the whole structure of it is false. What you are is the rock of truth, if you wanted to label it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to email, and much love, because that's all we are.